Hello Pisces, Sun, Moon and Rising. These are your messages for November. And the very first card that we have coming up for you is the Hermit. Now don't be worried about this card. People usually see the Hermit and think they're going to be all alone. You've actually got a really good, strong, powerful reading that's coming up for you. So we start off with the Hermit. It means that you might be, like, as an underlying energy, feel like really contemplative. Look at this guy. He's kind of pondering. He's contemplative. He's trying to figure out what's going on. So there may be a situation where you've taken a step back and you're trying to figure out, what you want to do, getting a new perspective on the situation. It's a very spiritual card, can talk about meditation. But the main kind of gist of this energy is, trying to find answers, looking for answers. But those answers are always found within. I think Scorpio got the Hermit as well, but I think they got it as the advice. So this is about looking for answers, looking within for answers. But let's see where that leads in the rest of the reading. We have coming up at the heart of your reading, the Knight of Wands. Capricorn got this. So if you guys have got anything going on with Capricorns, they got this in the same place at the heart of their reading. There's a sense of adventure, a sense of exploring, wanting to go out and do something new with this Knight. Knights always represent progress and movement. So the Knight of Wands, he's always out on a new adventure. He wants to explore. He wants to find meaning in the world. Wands, very creative, very passionate energy. Now, this is coming up at the heart of your reading. And these two are opposite energies. Think about it. This guy goes within. He doesn't find answers he doesn't find answers in the outside world. He only finds answers within. This guy looks for experience. He looks outside of himself. He looks to see what's out in the world, and also puts his energy out into the world. So, creative projects, adventure. It's that kind of very exciting, very enthusiastic energy. This one's the opposite. So some of you may be with that Hermit card trying to figure out, like, you may want to go traveling. The Knight of Wands is the traveler card. Or this could be someone that's entered your life and you're trying to figure out what you want to do with this person. It may be a fire sign. Wands are fire energy, which would be Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius. However, that placement can be anywhere in that person's chart. Remember, I always say that, the signs do not own the cards. They just lend their characteristics to the energies of the cards. So, whether you're dealing with someone like that, whether that's your energy, it does feel like there's this kind of exciting element that's come into your life. And you're actually in a good place to deal with it. We have the Queen of Cups coming up as a past energy. This is your energy. The Queen of Cups can represent a water sign, which is Pisces, Cancer, or Scorpio. And I don't know if you can see her. She's very loving, very nurturing, very supportive energy. She's ready to give her cup of love to someone, but she always likes to see what's offered to her first. Now, that's what I would say to anyone if this came up in their reading, but this is coming up in your reading, Pisces. And like I said, this is your energy, water energy, right? So if this is coming up as your foundation, this is you very much in your own element, very much kind of knowing who you are. Whenever we get our own energies that come up in the readings, it shows that we are feeling like ourselves. And that sounds kind of strange because don't we always feel like ourselves? Well, no. Sometimes you get like, when you get water signs that have very kind of swords energy, that means they're very much in their heads. But this is you being very much in your own energy, knowing who you are. And it's great as a foundation because it kind of shows that, as you move forward, you're coming to a situation from who you are. Now, how would the Queen of Cups and the Knight of Wands get along? Well, this may be someone younger, for starters, than the Queen of Cups. So you could be dealing with someone that's younger than you, even if not in age. It may be in maturity or, in their kind of energy levels. She might want to settle down, have a family, do that kind of thing. And this one's like, no, let's go traveling, or let's go do this. Or, it's that kind of, there's a difference in energy levels here. But like I said, it doesn't have to be someone else. This could be you. This could be you, sorry. Even though you're coming at it from this, that because you found a place in who you are, kind of more settled energy, you're now ready to take on a new adventure. Doesn't feel like it's easy though, because we have coming up in the present, the Strength card. Now, the Strength card, I love this card. It speaks of, let's have a look, actually. He looks like he's yawning like a big cat at her feet. The Strength card, when it comes up, it's telling you have the strength to overcome any obstacle. Any obstacle that's in your way, you have the strength to overcome it. However, as wonderful as a message as that is, and it's a beautiful card, it does indicate that there are obstacles that need to be overcome, or you wouldn't need the strength, right? Now, strength, it doesn't just talk about like physical strength or endurance. I mean, that's another energy for this. It's the card for Leo. So some of you may be dealing with Leos, but it's that very Leonine energy of, having the courage to do something, taking the bold steps. Another name for this card, it used to be like lust, not just passion, not just like lust in the bedroom, but lust for life, a lust for some dream. When we lust after something, we truly want it and we go after it. So it feels like at the moment you're being called to be stronger. You're being called to overcome some fears. I always see like when this card comes up, it can be that we have to overcome some fear. But like I said, you have the Queen of Cups coming up as a past energy. So you're in a good place to do it. Like, you know who you are. You know what you want now. You know, you're in your element. So that's a good place to launch off if you want to do something new, if you want to try something new. But, you have the Hermit, 2 major arcana cards. So this is right above this in the spread. Maybe that's what you're kind of figuring out. You're trying to find the inner strength to do something, to take some bold steps. But what are the bold steps? What would you need to move towards? Where is this leading you? We have the Lovers coming up as a future energy. Now, the Lovers, it can indicate a relationship. So, we do have this guy sat above this. So the Knight of Wands, maybe there's a decision that you need to make about a Knight of Wands kind of character. It can indicate a relationship. Now, I always say this, there's distance between the two, right? So this might be, a decision on how do we close this distance? Do I want to keep this distance? And I always say this, they're naked. I don't know if you can see that. They're naked in the card. Whenever there are naked people in the tarot, that's showing who you truly are. Not being afraid to say, hey, this is me, warts and all, this is what I'm like, take it or leave it. So it takes a lot of strength. You got the Strength card, right? It takes a lot of strength to show who you truly are, to make yourself vulnerable in a way, because that is vulnerability. What I do also see with the Lovers card, it's a head or heart decision that needs to be made. So there is a choice here that needs to be made. How many major arcana cards do you guys have? 3. So there's 3 major arcana cards. That's half of the spread is major arcana. A lot of changes taking place. But what's the advice that you're getting? Well, you have the 9 of Pentacles. Now, the 9 of Pentacles, and don't forget, the 9 of Pentacles sits under her. So this is saying whatever you guys have achieved and you've created great abundance. Now that might be emotional abundance. That might be spiritual abundance, financial abundance, whatever abundance means to you and wherever this message is resonating with you. You've created a lot of abundance. Look at her. She's in this lush garden. She's done a lot. She's overcome her fears. The fact that she holds this balcony always indicates that she's overcome some fears. She's mastered something. And it says enjoy it. Enjoy the success that you've had. Enjoy whatever you've created. So enjoy the fact that you've come back to the Queen of Cups energy. But there is a whole world outside of this garden. So this to me also speaks of comfort zones, that this can become a gilded cage. When we've created that safe space, it's very easy to stay put there, right? To say like, I made this nice place, I did everything, and now I'm here. We can't ever stop. We keep growing, we keep exploring. And that's kind of why this card's coming up, I think. Because either you're being called to go on an adventure with someone, or you're thinking of going on some new adventure. Now, when I say an adventure, for some of you, that's going to be literal. You may literally be going traveling or wanting to move somewhere else. Explore something new, go into a new career, right? That could be having a new adventure, exploring something different. Could be in relationships, and maybe you've been playing it safe for a while and now you want to get out there, express some of the passion that you have. But yeah, it's giving you a pause, and that's kind of like what November is for. And yeah, we're in Scorpio season. That's a sister water sign for you. So that's what Scorpio does. It kind of exposes the underbelly of what's going on. And we can look at our fears. What are our fears? But I'm not really getting fears here. In fact, if anything, if there are fears, you're overcoming the fears. Strength card is brilliant. Whenever you get the strength card, yes, you're thinking about it. You may start off November like this, like figuring out. Even this is very empowering. It's the card for Virgo, and it's looking at the details. So it doesn't mean that you're afraid. It could just be, okay, well, how do I tackle this? How would I go about this? So if it's a new career, you might be looking at details of how to get into that. If it's a relationship, you're trying to figure out, like, what is it about this person that's making me pause? Or what do I like about this person? It's that kind of an energy where you're really looking at, what it is that you want to do. I think this is the advice. It is the reminder to really understand that, you've overcome so much. You've come back to your own element. This is brilliant. This is a fabulous energy as a foundation. Now, if we're talking literally, if we're not talking about you come back into your own energies or your own elements, yes, you might have met a water sign, someone who's on the same kind of, when I say water sign, they might have their placement somewhere, or they may have the energies of a water sign, someone who offered you their cup of love. And this, like I said, can be a Pisces, Cancer, or Scorpio energy. And that's why, that's why all this strength is needed. That's why you're trying to figure out what to do, because there is this energy here. Don't be afraid. Don't get stuck in your comfort zone. And that's easy to do, especially if you've gone through difficult periods in life and you've overcome them and you get to a safe space. It can be very tempting to stay put in that safe place. Like, I've made my little sanctuary. It's okay if I stay here. I don't want to go back to that awful place, but you won't. Doesn't mean you have to go back to the awful place. There's a whole new world out there for you to explore. And we're never the same. Whenever we go through challenges or different situations, we don't remain the same. It changes us. So there's nothing to say that we won't react differently this time. All right, so let's tie in your oracle cards to your reading and expand on these energies a little bit. The first one that I have for you is wedding, and it says this situation involves marriage. Now, is that the decision that you're having to make with the lovers here and the wedding card? Wedding doesn't literally have to mean a wedding. It can indicate that level of commitment, like you're being called to commit fully to something, like moving in with someone. It's a commitment, right? What I always find interesting about this card is they always remind me of Charles and Diana. Like, she looks all loved up and like my husband, and he's all kind of stoic and I had to marry her or whatever. But so there's something always going on in this card whenever I see it, but it does speak about commitment. This guy is usually not ready to commit. All of the cards have a darker side and a lighter side. And the lighter side of this is that he is so passionate, so fun to be around, really sociable, outgoing, makes the most out of life, kind of like a force of life almost. But the kind of darker side of this is that, he can be unreliable because he's always off chasing the next dream, look, there's a bloody rainbow behind this guy. He's always off chasing that pot of gold almost, like trying to look for that next adventure, trying to keep things fun, wanting that excitement and that enthusiasm. So maybe that's what this decision's about, that, is this person reliable? Am I ready to commit to this person? Feels like you'll make that decision. With the lovers coming up, you'll make that decision. But it's going to involve you coming out of your comfort zone. Right, let's have a look at the next card. So we have take a chance on love. When we start to love, our lives are changed forever. Again, like repeat messages coming up here. This is the same as the lovers. Like, it's a decision. There is a decision that needs to be made here. And it doesn't even mean, like, if you're completely single and you might be listening to this and thinking, no one's proposed to me, or no one's offered me commitment. But, sometimes taking a chance on love can mean like getting out there ourselves. No one, I said this to someone the other day, actually, a client, and I said, no one's going to come and kick your door in. And she said, well, someone literally did. So it can happen, I guess. But, on the whole, I don't recommend waiting for someone to just come and knock on your door and say, hey, let's get married. Take a chance on love. That might mean doing different things. That might mean like the Knight of Wands, getting out there, doing something differently. going on a new adventure, trying out different things. You have the Strength card for a reason. This very much, Pisces, is talking about breaking out of some comfort zone. When you've got the Strength card, when you've got the Nine of Pentacles coming up, yes, the great thing about the Nine of Pentacles, I mean, oftentimes, especially in love readings, you'll hear like readers say, and I say it as well, that, you know, this is not the card that you want to see. It's about someone who's very independent, someone who's very confident, but someone who's created what they have by themselves. You know, it's a single person's card. But the thing is, I also feel as the advice is telling you to break out of this comfort zone, that it's great, you've achieved so much. And if you have that as a basis, if you have that security of something that you've created security for yourself, and you have the Strength card coming up, there's nothing you can't face, especially with that adventuring spirit of the Knight of Wands coming up there as well. And we kind of continue in that same vein with number 50, No Place Like Home, coming up from the Wisdom of the Oracle. And these cards are always so washed out on here. I love this card because it says no place like home. You know, home is our security. It's our comfort. It's where we can be ourselves. And what this card reminds you is that you always have a home within your own skin. That there's nothing to show that, you know, when we feel at home within ourselves, there's nothing that we can't do. And also we can achieve so much just by authentically being ourselves. And it feels like that's a lesson that a lot of you have been learning with the Queen of Cups coming up. So you're very much in your own, like, you know, that's being in your own element, being in your own energy. What does that mean? It means you're comfortable with who you are. You can authentically be who you are. Like these people. I don't recommend walking around naked, but, you know, it's that exposing warts and all who you truly are and knowing it's enough. That it is enough and I am enough, and, you know, take it or leave it. That's the kind of energy of this card. And then I love this card. You have the chess. Can't even speak. You have the Chess Queen, Trust and Strategizing. Okay, so when the Chess Queen shows up in your reading, this is reminding you that there is a divine plan, that you may not believe it, or, you know, sometimes it doesn't feel like it, like you feel out of alignment with things, but there is a divine plan. Everything happens for a reason. This tells you that, you know, if you have a strategy, if you have a plan, keep going with it. You know, the Chess Queen is there, this energy is there to help implement your plan. It's like a chess move, right? Once you've ever seen those chess players and they look at the board and they've got every kind of move planned out. Once you have that plan, you go ahead with it. You go ahead with it. It doesn't matter if you lose a few pawns, or, you know, you lose, I don't know, even like a knight or something. As you move forward, your plan will play out the way you want it to. So it's a very good indicator that, you know, there is a divine plan. You are part of that divine plan, and just keep going the way that you have. Have a strategy. It will play out the way you want it to.